So this diagram we looked at last week too, we're going to get a little more in depth. We had said that it's colder on tops of mountains and how that happens, but what are the other effects of that? So I'm going to try to show you a couple of animations, but basically you've got to find the windward side of a mountain where the wind hits, and these are the reasons why you get clouds and rain on the windward side of the mountain. The air starts to rise, which makes it expand. Okay, when rising air gets up, there's less pressure up high, so the air starts to expand. And whenever you take a gas and make it expand, it cools off. So that's why it's colder on tops of the mountains. But the thing with that is when you have air cool off, you get condensation, which makes clouds. Okay, cold air can't hold as much moisture as warm air. So since it's cooling off, it makes it rain on this side of the mountain. And then when the air gets over the mountain, the opposite, so RECCC, the opposite of rising is sinking. When the air sinks, the opposite of expanding is contracting. The opposite of cooling is warming. So you get rec, schweck. Warming makes evaporation, and when water evaporates, it becomes clear. So the clouds leave. Now, if you look at a few examples of that, so Mount Hood, we studied Mount Hood when we were doing volcanoes in the Pacific Northwest. You can see that this range of mountains is very wet on this side, and you can see that it's drier on the west side, which this is what it looks like west of Mount Hood, and this is what it looks like east. So that's the same volcanic mountain right there. And you can see how it's super lush on the windward side and very dry on the leeward side. Okay, so what happens is the wind hits and it starts to rise up. And this is what I'm talking about with low pressure. The air expands. And then as it goes over the mountain, that rain happens on the windward side. And then the leeward side, it gets super dry because of all that schweck. So rec, schweck. And this is kind of the diagram that you'll see. Sometimes it's flipped, okay, depending on which way the wind is coming from, but you can see this is the windward side and this is the leeward side because it's nice and arid or dry.